Hello everyone, my name is Barney from HalfKocked, and I'm here to talk about the episode that has torn the Game of Thrones fan base in half, pretty much. Now, I think the majority will say that they didn't like it, but there are still some strong believers out there that believe that people know what they're doing. I'm here to talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 5, The Bells. For me personally, this episode, I feel like it's always been the way or the road they've been going. You know, this has been their ultimate destination. Now that the way that they got there, I'll be honest, it it did feel rushed. Um, Now, obviously, you're going to get that with the last two seasons being cut short for whatever reason that I'm still haven't really looked into. But season 7 was 7 episodes. The final season has been 6 episodes, and just feels like things were like pushed very quickly. Um, even with being rushed, we still had, like I said in yesterday's video, on how we had 20-30 minute scenes of a feast in Winterfell, with the aftermath of the battle, the battle with the dead. If it's really weird pacing, because obviously we've seen Dany's cracks, or some of her true self has been shown, and throughout the majority of the series, she has been a very good character, and she's always had the good in her heart. This episode, you know, she was truly snapped, and that the I don't that has divided everybody. Where people are signing petitions to for competent writers to rewrite season 8 and redo it, and I'm just like, y'all need to chill. To be honest, now for me, the whole Danny heel turn thing, honestly, it could have been worked a little better. I'll be 100% real, but I do feel like it was the smart decision to do, and I do feel like these people know what they're doing. They obviously know what they're doing because they've been making the show for 10 years, from what it seems like, and there's just a lot of backlash with it, and not everybody's happy. The one thing that I've been telling people on social media, and as I've been posting that GIF of Ramsay Bolton, like in season 3, season 4, whenever it was, to him saying the Theon Greyjoy, God, I can't talk. If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. Now, this series was never, ever going to end on a very happy note. We were going to have characters that we fell in love with, characters that we followed. So it's episode 1, perish, and not just the bad guys, but some of the good guys as well. And I feel like with the rushed seasons, the pacing could have been better. It could have been better, but ultimately, this is where the show has been going since day one. Now, it's not all the writers' fault. The writers of the show have been making the show since season 1, but they've always had the guidance of George R.R. Martin behind them, and George R.R. Martin told them this is how the story goes. This is how it ends. So it's not like they're making this up by themselves. And some of their best episodes, the Battle of the Bastards, that didn't come from the books. So that they know what they're doing, despite what people are saying online. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to talk about this episode. Starts off, Dany is a hot mess. She just lost Missandei. She just lost her second dragon, and honestly, she looks like she has been through hell and back. And with Varys knowing the information that Jon's true lineage is, Targaryen, and he has the true, most firm rightful claim to the Iron Throne, he's trying to push him to get the Iron Throne instead of Dany, because he's not sure where Dany lies. He once said, when a Targaryen is born, flip a coin, whether it's, they're good or they're bad, and only time will tell. And he believes that Jon is good, would be a great leader for the realm, but Tyrion is like, no, Dany's our queen. He's just brainwashed to be loyal at this point, which is unfortunate because he's been such a great character. Dany finds out and she executes Varys, and his character after 8 seasons is no more. I'm going to skip ahead to the Battle of King's Landing. Not much of a battle. This was a massacre, to be honest. And with Drogon just destroying the Iron Fleet, and obviously learning from the last week's episode, she decided to outmaneuver the Iron Fleet and destroy them all, destroyed all the scorpions on the walls, took out the Golden Company like that, and it was just a giant massacre, to be honest. And then we have what happens with the bells. They ring the bells, King's Landing surrenders, King's Landing is hers, there's nothing destroyed that doesn't need to be destroyed, and then for whatever reason, because Dany thinks that no one will love her, she has to rule with fear. It's hard to rule people when they're all dead. She burns King's Landing to the ground, killing women, children, men, everybody, and just destroying the Red Keep. It's a massacre, man. Jon realizes, oh fuck, I backed the wrong horse, and then Tyrion's the same way. It's like I snitched on my best friend, and now he's dead, and he was right the whole time. Dany's just going ape shit. In the Red Keep, we have Clegane Bowl, finally, after so many seasons. We have the Hound versus the Mountain. Now, that battle was pretty awesome, despite all the falling rubble behind it. The Mountain was just a monster, legitimately. And even a knife through the head wouldn't stop him. And then that was the end of the Hound tackling the Mountain through the broken wall into a giant fireball like 300 feet down. So the Hound died doing what he set to do, killing his brother. Now with all this going on, Jaime Lannister's trying to get his way into the Red Keep. They try to get Cersei out of there. They reconnect while everything's falling between them. They get down to the dungeons to get their way out, and they're trapped. Rubble has blocked out their way, and one of the most diabolical characters in this entire series was killed by rubble. That is not the way I wanted to see her go, especially with Jaime, with them two holding each other in their arms and then being crushed to death by rubble. Now, I thought I was dissatisfied with Ramsay's death whenever Sansa released the hounds on him, even though I know how symbolic it was and yada yada yada. I still wanted like a sword through the gut type of thing, something more personal, and that just didn't feel personal to me. And I mean, there's nothing much more to talk about other than people are really upset about that. If they would have killed Cersei in a more personal way, I would have. I believe that some of this outrage would be less severe than it is, but the way that they killed both those Lannisters left a lot of people sour. So that was pretty much the gist of the episode. Now, I might have talked negatively about it at the beginning, but overall, it's Game of Thrones. It's not supposed to be a happily ever after, and I understand that. Despite all the pacing and the rushing issues, I have still been a fan of this season, and I still can't wait for the series finale. Other than those sour tastes, I've been pretty satisfied with this season, despite what everyone else is saying online. I'm not going to bash it as much as as other people have been doing, but I'm not going to dog it just to dog it. I've been a fan, and it's one of those things where if you hate it, you hate it. If you like it, you like it. I like it, and I'm satisfied. I'm happy in my boat. But anyway, if you like this video, please leave a like down below. Comment down below. Tell me what you thought about the season. Tell me what you thought they could have done differently. Tell me if you're perfectly okay with the way the season's going. And tell me who sits on the Iron Throne. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with the series finale video of Game of Thrones. Peace.